Many people have asked me what it is like to be education minister. Let me share a story. Last June, a few days after I became minister, a parent wrote to me, angry that his son was given homework during the school holiday. Then another was upset that his son was not given homework. One wanted his son to excel to get ahead, the other to relax and enjoy the vacation. So it's not easy to be education minister. But I'll do my best. Earlier this year, I had breakfast with a group of students at King Cheng School. I asked what their hopes and dreams were. Indeed, each time I meet students, I ask this question. Our young have big and interesting dreams. They want to have jobs that I have never heard of before, such as character directors and texture artists in the animation industry. They want to create the next Star Wars. I met a group of NUS students on an entrepreneurship program in Beijing. They were awed by the vast market and wanted to create the next big thing in China. I'm also very heartened to have met many people, young and old, who volunteer their time to make life better for others. But I also have my concerns. An elderly resident, Mr. Lim, urged me, Mr. Heng, we will need an elder care facility here. We'll need it later, but please build it now, before too many people object. His concerns were not misplaced. A young man actually asked me to relocate an entire school because it was too noisy. So some of these encounters make me worry. Some lift my spirit. But each raises an important question about our future. In the fight for space, will our elderly be pushed out? Will our young succeed here, or will they have to emigrate? Will our citizens seek to contribute, or will they just advance their own interest? When I was young, most Singaporeans were poor. Our goal was to have food on the table. It was simply about survival. Today, Singaporeans have diverse needs and wants. Many have more choices, and only a deep sense of belonging will anchor them here. We each seek to have more space, but we are a small island. So how do we achieve a consensus, turn diversity into strength, harness our idealism, and make the right choices together? We need a national conversation about our Singapore. This national conversation will first and foremost be about putting Singaporeans at the heart of our concerns. It will be an opportunity for Singaporeans to come together and ask, what matters most? Where do we want to go as a country, as a people? Many Singaporeans have since shared their views, and I find them inspiring. I recently had a dialogue with a group of students. They want a caring and gracious Singapore. One student, Jolene, puts it well. She wants a gracious Singapore where we no longer need signs on MRT trains telling us to give up our seats for the elderly, because it is instinctively Singaporean to do so. And she adds, when it rains, we share our umbrellas with anyone spontaneously. In the conversation about our Singapore, we'll need to reaffirm, recalibrate, and refresh. First, reaffirm what is good and still relevant, especially where the fundamentals are concerned. As one resident told me, "Hey, Mr. Heng, change when we have to change, but please don't change for the sake of change." I fully agree. Our society must be anchored by core values and a constancy of purpose. Second, we must ask ourselves, what has changed, and recalibrate accordingly. As in sailing, we may have set off in the right direction, but when the winds change, we need to adjust our course. For instance, we do have great strength in some areas, but strength overdone can become weaknesses. Our focus on grades and achievements do help maintain standards, but overdone comes at the expense of a holistic education, a happier childhood, and quality time with parents. Extreme meritocracy and competition can lead to a winner-take-all society where the winners think little of others. We need to restore a balance to the hard-nosed material pragmatism. As Gandhi put it, we must not have commerce without morality, science without humanity, and knowledge without character. Third, we must refresh and innovate. Look afresh at developments and new evidence, and be bold in charting new direction. Over the years, MOE has been studying the impact of preschool. Our more recent evaluation showed that preschool years are important for children to learn languages and social skills. We must invest more in preschool, and PM will touch on this later. The national conversation that we will have will be as inclusive as possible. We will engage Singaporeans from all walks of life through multiple channels. We will seek out the views of as many people as possible, including those who normally stay silent. All of you have stayed very silent since I started speaking. Thank you very much, but please speak up later. This will allow us to better appreciate each other's concerns, hopes, and aspirations. Our conversation must be grounded in reason, mutual respect, and an attitude of give and take. Singapore has succeeded so far because our own personal stories have been woven into the big Singapore story in a rich and coherent tapestry. As Mr. Kong Yew Kin put on my Facebook recently, and I quote, "It will be great to have a collage of the dream boards of every Singaporean, which will make up the Singapore dream." Indeed, when we pursue a common purpose, our individual dreams come alive. When an individual succeeds, the rest of us benefit from that success. My fellow Singaporeans, we have an exciting journey ahead. I urge you to take part in this national conversation about our Singapore. Together, we can make Singapore our home. A home of hope, a home of heart, a home we all love. Thank you very much.